So what implications does that have? Okay, so let's think about that. Why do we get caught in the negativity trap? Well, part of it goes back to this. Before we go through this slide, come back to this. Why are we getting caught in the negativity trap? Well, think about it. If 75% of the thoughts you're thinking are negative and 95% of your thoughts are repetitive, then it's really hard to get out of these cycles, right? You think, we've talked about this before on the webinars, where you think about your brain as a roadmap, right? And these roads that are built into your brain over thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of thoughts per day, those roads become more traveled, and it's really hard to veer off those roads and travel a path that you haven't traveled before. That takes a lot of work. We're going to talk a little bit more about that too. But it's really easy to get caught in these negativity cycles that can really affect us. So let's talk about negativity for a minute. Our brains are tending towards repetition. This is kind of what we just talked about. Thought patterns are deeply ingrained. And then this is interesting. We've talked a little bit here about fight or flight response. The fight or flight response is a response in the brain. It is built in to keep us safe. You think about running from bears, protecting your family, protecting your home. That's a built-in response that's meant to keep us safe. But in today's overstimulated world, sometimes we can get caught in the fight or flight response and live there. And that's where we end up with chronic stress, right? And when we're chronically stressed, it's hard to rebuild those pathways in our brain, okay? So negative thoughts, behaviors, and coping mechanisms are like credit cards, right? Sometimes we use these negative thoughts and behaviors to have a quick payoff. Maybe like an outburst of anger can give us kind of an endorphin release, or maybe, a poor coping mechanism can feel really good for the moment, but then you pay big for it later, right? Whatever that is. So think about